isn't this guilt about it. But the thing is, everybody wants that feeling of control, that you have some power over the people around you, in the sense that if you talk to them, that you can at least persuade them with your ideas, that you can get them to do what you want, that you have just a feeling of control in your life, and the sense that you can't control anything, that you have no influence over the people around you, you have no influence over your wife, your kids, your boss, your colleagues, is so miserable that it will turn you into almost like a monster, basically.
The 48 Laws of Power is a non-fiction book by American author Robert Greene. The book is a New York Times bestseller, selling over 1.2 million copies in the United States. It is popular with prison inmates and celebrities. Greene initially formulated some of the ideas in the 48 Laws of Power while working as a writer in Hollywood, concluding that today's power elite shared similar traits with popular figures throughout history. Today I'll be revealing the tactics which Cheech used that align with the 48 Laws of Power. Please subscribe and activate the notification bell. Law 1. Never outshine the master. Always make those above you feel comfortable superior. Hide the extent of your own talents. As your masters may otherwise feel insecure, the better you make your master appear, the greater the level of power you'll attain. Those above you want to feel secure and superior in their positions. This may involve making a few harmless mistakes so that you can ask your master for help. If, however, you are more naturally charming than your master, it would be best to avoid working for them entirely. When you try impressing your master and showing how much improvement you gained, you will trigger your master's insecurities. Instead, boost their ego and make them seem better than you. This way, you will not trigger their insecurities about taking their position. More than 12 years before the current storyline, Cheech eventually became a member of the 2nd Division and encouraged Ace to seek the commander position. Though Ace attempted to encourage Cheech, he refused it himself based on the excuse of not having enough ambition. Cheech was trying not to outshine anyone. He was playing the dumb character that doesn't have its own goals and desires. As a result of this act, no one saw him as a threat to his rule and stayed with the crew for a very long time. Conceal your intentions. Always keep your intentions absurd. This way your opponent cannot defend themselves. Lead them astray, and by the time they realize your plans, it will be too late. Use humankind's tendency to trust appearances to your advantage. By dangling a decoy set of intentions in front of your opponents, they will fail to see what you are really plotting. By hiding your intentions, people will believe you to be friendly and honest. This will lead them further down the wrong path. Additionally, by being bland, people are even less likely to doubt your intentions as they trust the familiar. By hiding your intentions, no one will predict your next moves. As a result, you will have the opportunity to take your chance whenever you want, while your target is in a vulnerable state. Cheech did this throughout his whole life, especially with Whitebeard. Cheech told Whitebeard that he wanted to join his crew because he has nowhere to go. In fact, Cheech joined Whitebeard with a goal in mind, which is to find the Yummy Yummy Nomi fruit, but he didn't tell him about it. He hid his intentions and waited a long time till he found his target and took the opportunity while his opponent is in a vulnerable state. If he didn't hide his desires, Thatch wouldn't have shown the fruit to everyone on the crew. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Friends are more likely to betray you in haste as they are more prone to envy. However, if you hire a former enemy, they will prove themselves more trustworthy as they have more to prove. Consequently, you have more to fear from friends than your enemies. Often you think you know your friends better than you do. This is because honesty rarely strengthens bonds. So, friends frequently hide their true feelings about each other, as people want to feel they deserved their good fortune in hiring a friend. They can feel undeserving and ultimately resentful. Instead, it's better to hire an enemy as your motives are upfront and are not clouded with personal feeling. Another thing that when your friends betray, It hits way harder than your enemy because you don't see it coming, and your friends probably know a lot of vulnerabilities and personal information about you, which can cause major harm to you. Teach understood this very well. He was willing to kill Thatch and Ace and also Whitebeard to achieve his goal. He doesn't see friendship like how others see it. He only sees opportunities. What he does is turning friends into enemies in a heartbeat the moment he sees an opportunity, even if he spent 20 years in Whitebeard's crew while being treated like his son. Blackbeard used enemies as a motivation a lot of times, attacking Hancock to steal her fruit and attacking Law as an example. Law 9. Win through your actions, never through arguments. Any triumph you gain through argument will be short-lived. Resentment will fester in your opponents instead of a genuine change of opinion. Instead, let your actions speak for you. If people agree with you through your actions instead of your words, you are more likely to sway lasting opinions. Words are a dime a dozen, and people will say anything to prove a point. Action is where you demonstrate your beliefs. We can see an example of this when Teach recruited new crew members from Impel Down. Instead of talking to them, he told them to fight each other, and the ones that remain alive will join his crew. Law 20. Don't commit to anyone. Make sure the only cause you commit to is yourself. Maintain your independence at all costs. This allows you to play people off against each other. When you hold back from joining a cause, you create a sense of respect because you appear untouchable. You gain a reputation for independence. Further, do not commit to anyone. Stay out of petty fights and squabbles. Feign interest, but let others do the fighting while you watch and wait. Often, it can be a good tactic to stir up quarrels between two parties and then gain power by acting as the go-between. Teach have maintained his independence from day one. Although he spent years and years with Ace and the rest of the crew, he was still willing to betray them immediately after he saw an opportunity. Teach was the reason behind the capturing of Ace and ultimately the Marineford. He was the one to stir up quarrels between two parties, the Marineford and the Whitebeard pirates, which he ultimately gained a lot from, like gaining new crewmates and taking the Kuraguranomi after killing Whitebeard, who was severely injured from fighting in the war. Law 21. Lay a sucker to catch a sucker. Appear dumber than your mark. No one enjoys feeling stupid. Consequently, a great trick is to make your opponent feel smarter than you. Once they believe themselves to be more intelligent, they will never suspect that you have any ulterior motives. This law is very similar to Conceal Your Intentions. It explains Teach's personality very well because that's what he was doing with Whitebeard. He acted as a harmless fool who only enjoys food and spending time with the crew, and doesn't have any dreams or ambition. He played a sucker to catch another sucker, which is Thatch.